Hi, friends! I hope everybody's doing super sweet today. Yay! Okay, my microphone's on. I often forget to turn on my microphone. So, happy long weekend, everybody. Um, I know it's probably gonna be just a nice little party today. It's a Saturday of the long weekend. It's actually beautiful weather. We're having a little bit of sprinkle of rain today here, but I know that's gonna clear up so we can hang out at the beach later. What are you guys doing for your long weekend? Let me know. Hi, Eva. How's it going? What's that face for? um, anyways, I'm just thinking to myself, if I had some kids around, which my kid is at my wonderful parents' house right now, getting taken care of. Oh, hi, Shelly. It's your favorite emoji. Amazing. Does that look like it? Anyways, sorry, guys. Um, but I just thought it would be really, really nice to just do a nice springy painting that's really simple. We just got to get our blends down. We get to move our arm around and, feel that flow. And we're going to gloop a whole bunch of paint on the canvas. And that always feels so good, too. All right. Oh, it's rainy in Halifax. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Pragya. Hi. And Diane from Graham, Washington. Yay! Awesome, guys. Just let me know where you're painting from today. Say hi. I love hearing where you're from. And let me know if you've ever painted with me before. I'm going to assume everybody has if you're here today. And if not, congratulations. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm really excited to get down to the nitty gritty. Hi, Simran from Harji, London. Hello. Hi, Nancy. So great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Holly's here from Syracuse, New York. How rad is that? Diane's watching today. That's perfect. So anybody who's just watching, that's so great. It actually makes me feel really nice that you would just watch and not paint along. It makes me feel really good. And this video is going to be recorded. It's being recorded as we speak. And I am live on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page right now. And just remember, guys, if you see any kind of like scammy, spammer comments, if you can just report them, I'd be super grateful. Sweet. Sonia, you're from Osoyoos? Beautiful. That's awesome. And Yvette's here from Litchfield Park, Arizona. Man, it's got to be hot there today. It's pretty warm here in southern Ontario. I'm going to say, I think we're at about 24 degrees Celsius today. I'm going to say, what's that divided by times 2, 48 plus 30, 60. It's going to be about 80 degrees here today, Fahrenheit. So that is super awesome. It is such a gamble this time of year. I swear every May 2-4 weekend, it's just like you have no idea what to expect. It could be like the nicest weekend ever, or it could be the rainiest weekend ever. And everybody always has these plans to camp. And I can't tell you how many times I camped in my life where like I woke up in like a pool of rain because I didn't set my tent up properly. And you weren't expecting it, but somehow that rain cloud just like flew through and filled up my tent with water. Yes. What? 83 degrees today? That's what I'm talking about. I hope you're near some water to jump into. And that's another wonderful thing too. It's been so nice. I've totally been jumping in the water all the time, and it's like, it just makes my life so much better. If I could swim every day of my life, I would be the happiest. If I could swim and paint every single day of my life, I could ask for nothing else. So that's my life dream. Now you guys all know my life goals. I just want to paint and swim every day of my life. I don't ask for much. Anywho, friends, all right, so we're going to hang out for 4 more minutes and just make sure everybody gets here. What else has been going on? Actually, you know what? I don't have it down here, but if anybody's interested, I'm kind of like doing some behind the scenes work here. So I'm actually moving a lot of my paint videos to a new platform for the members that I have right now. And I am going to be building out a membership for kids. So I just really, really, really want to work with kids more and more and more. It is my favoriteest thing to do. So I'm actively working on getting that up and running right now. If that interests you at all, you can actually go to juliespaintparty.com/coloring book, or just go to juliespaintparty.com and look for the little tab that says coloring book. And if you put your email in, I will send you like a whole load of coloring pages that I made a while ago, and you can or you can print them yourself, or you can go find them on Amazon and just buy the coloring book for the cost. For the cost of the coloring book. I don't make any money off of it, but if you don't have a printer, sometimes it's nice just to buy it. It's like $5 or something like that. No big deal. And it's called the Curious Creatures Creative Coloring Book. So if you go to juliespaintparty.com/coloring book, spelt in Canadian, so it's COLOURINGBOOK. I became a very good vocal speller in the last little while because I don't often like to say different things in front of my daughter because she's 4. So we spell a lot of stuff so it doesn't trigger her. So I'm pretty good at like spelling out loud now. Oh, hi Blossom, you're from India. It's 9:30 p.m. Oh, that's kind of a good time. If you have kids, maybe they're sleeping. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I know India is going through some crazy stuff right now. So I'm sending lots of love over to you right now. And Julie, yes, exactly. The goals that I have in life are simple and perfect. I completely agree. All right, friends, so I just want to make sure everybody has the right supplies today. So make sure you have your brushes, and I have a paper plate to put my paints on. I'm using a canvas today, but you don't have to have a canvas. You could have a piece of wood. You could have some paper or some Bristol board or a piece of cardboard. Excuse me, even though, it's always wonderful to end up with this beautiful painting that we can hang on our wall, it's just not necessary. Painting doesn't always have to result in some sort of perfect masterpiece. It's truly about just the feeling of the actual painting, taking some time for yourself, finding some clarity, getting some peaceful, just that wonderful peaceful feeling that when you get when you're painting. So honestly, just embrace the process. Everybody's painting always looks so different, and it really doesn't matter what you're painting on because it's the actual physical part of painting and creating that is the magic. It's magic, magic. Oh yay! Hi Stella in Ontario. Oh hi Carol and everyone else in Moncton, New Brunswick. Cool. And okay, thank you for saying that. So if you do not have all the colors for today's painting, that's okay too. I actually used way too many colors for this painting. So say you don't have blue, well, just use turquoise instead, or use a light blue, or use a purple or something like that. As long as you have white, you're really good to go. So you can mix white with any of the colors here and create new colors. If you only have one type of green, you could always mix in a little bit of yellow with that to change up the color. You can mix in some white to lighten it up. If you don't have pinks or reds or anything, use whatever colors you have to put those blobs, those flower blobs in our grassy knoll today. There are so many options for this painting. And that, even if you do have all the colors, you can pick and choose whatever colors you want to use. It's like I keep saying, it's really about just that wonderful feeling that we get while we're painting that we're going for. So let's not be particular today. Let's let go of any kind of weird perfectionisms we have that make us think that if it's not perfect, it's not right, because it's perfect exactly the way it is. And you are perfect exactly the way you are. So from that, let's get started. All right, it's noon. Yep. So let's officially get this party started. And for anybody who hasn't met me before, I'm Julie, and I love to paint. And if you need to find out anything else about me, you can actually find out a lot about my history and background on my website, juliespaintparty.com. It's down in the corner over there. And go get your free coloring book too, because it's just so fun to color. It's just always a good time. I'm going to disappear. And hi, Kelly from South Carolina. That's so cool. All right. Cool, friends. So we are going to paint this whole background, and we're going to make big circles. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. We're going to make lots of circles, and we're going to be blending our paints, but we're filling up our whole canvas here, or whatever we're using. So 3 main colors that I'm going to use for my background today are a white, this is called cobalt blue. Any kind of blue will be good. I'm just using this one today. I like to use this darker blue for this painting because when I mix the white in, I get different tones. I get a little bit of dark blue, I get a little bit of light blue, and they both show up really well together, so I'm into it. And some turquoise is going to be our last color in our background. Just to reiterate, I do have a paper towel, I have my brushes, and I have this beautiful cup of water here. Just remember, if you have drinks with you, just put your paint cup and drink cup like separate from each other so that there's no unnecessary swooshing of brushes in your drink cup or drinking of the paint water, because that is an unfortunate side effect to painting because you're painting and it just feels so good, you don't even really understand what's happening, and you go to grab the red Solo cup for a nice tasty beverage, and there it is. Okay, so I'm going to start this painting with my 3/4 inch Fatty McFadderson flathead brush here. It's my favorite brush. I use it for all of my backgrounds. I am just going to put a tiny little bit of water on my brush, and I'm going to take that water, I'm going to dab it right on the side of my white paint. So I'm just going to mix in a little bit of that water. Now, to be honest, you can where you want on the back of your canvas. Mine's going to go roughly in this top corner area here. So that's where I'm going to start. And the best part is that we're just going to put a little bit of white on a white. You do not, it's impossible for you to mess it up. Now, Blossom, if you don't have turquoise, I would say just keep alternating your white and blue together. You don't need turquoise for the rest of it. Just use white and blue and you're good to go. So I got a little bit of white. I'm just going to start by making a little white circle. And I'm going to make it just a couple inches big because, you know, just to get a lot of those goopies off and just start this process and feel good about it. And, you know, it's so funny. It almost seems like, why are you doing that, right? It's because it's going to make some variation. And that's what I'm going for. I want a whole bunch of streakies in the sky. So once I get a little bit of white on the canvas, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of my cobalt blue on my brush here. And I'm just going to start to waft my paintbrush in a circle here. So it's a little awkward at first because when I have this big brush and I'm trying to make these nice little circles in here, sometimes it can look really weird. So what I do, I just take my time and slowly work my brush out. I go side to side and make, you know, relatively decent circles, but it's not until I get a little bit further out that my circles tend to become a little nicer looking. So I don't worry about and I'd like to bring my brush up as possible. So I go all the way around and just work my circle out. Now as I start to alternate my colors a little bit. So I'll grab some blue Get it around there. I'll grab some white. And I alternate my dark blue and my white until I get all the way over to this area over here. So even though I'm hitting the border over on this side, I still want to bring my blue and white almost all the way over to the other side of my canvas over here. Now, the key to having some really, really nice blends in my sky, where I want to see the colors coming together without any super harsh lines. You know, streakies and harsh lines are a little bit different. Streakies, you know, you see a little bit of each color in the sky and it's really nice. Harsh lines are like that big line of blue and then that big line of white, where I want to bring those two colors together. And the more times I bring my back and forth, what sometimes feels like hundreds and hundreds of times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, the better your colors are going to come together. Sorry, I started reading as I was talking there. Karen, I'm so sorry about my microphone. So I have this this wireless mic, and I need to order a new one that just plugs into my computer, because I think that it gets crackly from all the Wi-Fi signal on in my studio right now, unfortunately. So I apologize, guys. If you miss something, just let me know. I'm so happy to repeat myself over and over and over again, okay? And anyways, I'm working myself up into this top corner. I'm going all the way to the sides of my canvas. Now, if you want to hang this on your wall and you're using a canvas, I suggest going around the sides of your canvas as well. So paint the top and the sides of your canvas. Might as well get it done now, because then you don't have to worry about it later. It's all good. And then when you're done, you can just put a little pin in the wall and hang it on your living room wall, and it's perfect. So once I get a decent amount of colors on there, I just start to kind of sway back and forth, and I make nice big round pulls with my brush. So I'm really just making nice long brush strokes and going around in a circle, and I ebb and I flow. So I go inwards and I go outwards, and I go inwards and I go outwards until I'm happy with the amount of blending that's happening, with the colors that I'm putting on there. And it really just is a matter of stamina. How many times can you handle going around back and forth in a circle and putting those colors on the canvas? Now, once you start to reach the bottom, you might find, and I'm finding this, sometimes even if you have a little bit like dry, meaning that like the paint's not filling in all of those little canvas holes in there, you know? So if that's what's happening, the best solution is just take a little dab of water, add it into your paint, and then you'll find effortlessly. You barely have to even do anything. Just a tiny dab of water is going to be the trick. Now, even though a lot of the bottom part of my canvas is going to get filled up with lots and lots of grass, I'm still going to fill up my entire canvas with my swirly twirly background. Just because it gives a nice primer for the grass, and we won't see any weird lines. So, you know, when you're making lots of lines kind of cruising up, sometimes you can still see the background colors. So we're just going to make sure that the background colors are actually there by filling up our entire canvas. So I'm still working on it. I'm still working my way out to the sides. I'm alternating my colors with blue and white, just keep on working my way out. And basically, when I get to about the 3/4 mark, that's when I'm going to start to introduce my turquoise. So you can see I'm like basically 3/4 to the other side of my canvas now. And I'm still working my brush, so the more you bring your brush back and forth, the more those colors are going to blend together. You're going to find that you're going to find a nice flow with your brush. And before I put my turquoise on, I'm just going to grab one last scoop of blue, make sure it's nice and filled up with paint over here. Because when our paint is still wet, it just makes it so much easier to blend our colors. So put a little bit of that blue. And finally, right towards the end here, I'm going to grab a scoop of turquoise. And right within this last little inch of blue here, I'm just going to start to grab my turquoise and I'm going to move back and forth. Basically in the same area. So I'm going to move inward towards my blue, and then I'm going to move outward towards the white part of my canvas here, just back and forth a few times. So this general movement, this up, down, I'm going from the top of my canvas all the way down to the bottom in one fell swoop, up and down, up and down. And the more I do that, the more you're going to find a beautiful blended gradient on your painting. Honestly, how many times you handle go back and forth, up and down, that's how you're going to get some super duper nice blends. All right. So I'm going to continue out and basically fill up the rest of my canvas with turquoise. If you want to add white, that is awesome too. You can absolutely do that. Hi, Mr. Rage. I'm glad you're a fan. Hi, Claire. Hi, Marie. Yeah, long weekend. Happy Victoria Day in Canada. Victoria Day weekend. I hope you guys are spending some quality time with your family. If you're really lucky, you'll have. And I hope everybody's just same time. Because, man, what is life without fun? I love having fun. Luckily, I find a lot of fun painting. And swimming, as per my life goals that we discussed earlier on in this video. All right. So just keep working those arm muscles. Work them, work them, work them. And then, fill the rest of your canvas. You're all good. Once I reach the end, I'm finally going to give my brush a rinse. I just like to, I swoosh it around in my cup. I give it a little push on the bottom. When we're filling up our canvas so much and we're adding paints over paints over paints over paints, I like to give my brush a good little push on the bottom of my cup, because what happens when we keep adding and adding without rinsing, our paints get stuck. Oh, I gotta make sure. I always have to make sure my brush works for me. But you'll find that your paint gets stuck down at the bottom part of your brush down here, and that's the tricky part. So I often just give it a good push on the bottom and a good rinse just to make sure all of the paint has disappeared from the bottom of my paintbrush. Because if it gets dry in there, then your bristles start to separate a little bit. It's harder to keep the shape of your brush because it just gets overused. So giving it that extra little push on the bottom to let loose of all those paints in there, it really is going to help extend the life of your paintbrush. Oh, hi Jesse Willis, how's it going? Happy long weekend to you too, Kelly. Sarah Rupert, Susan's here. Are you? I hope so. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do to my background before I move forward with my grass, we're going to let this dry up a little bit. I'm just going to add a few little extra white swirlies in my sky here. Now, I don't just go straight into a scoop of white and start adding them on. I like to add a little bit of water in with my white first. So it's kind of just like this hazy circular pattern that I'm going to get right in this area over here. So my brush is clean now. I have my white here. I'm going to put a little water on it. And right next to my white, I'm going to make a little pool of white water here. So you can see even on my brush, it's barely existent. It's not on there super thick or anything. Um, I'm making a nice little washy area here. I even like to squeegee off some of that excess water so it doesn't drip down my canvas. So if you feel like you have too much water, always just give it a little squeegee, because drips suck and they're hard to fix sometimes. So just be wary of it. And starting right in the middle again, I'm just gonna add a few extra little swirly twirls. Now I like to make it a little bit like a nice little spot where my son's gonna live, and I just make a few little extra pulls of paint around this area here. And it's the same kind of thing. Like the more I bring my brush back and forth or round and round, the more those colors are going to blend into the background. You're going to find that, you know, the more you go back and forth with your brush, the better the shape is. So I'll often just use that basic shape of my wrists, like that natural kind of sway in my wrist, to make the round circles around this area here. Off, if you can totally like shift your canvas around a little bit so that it's a lot easier to do it, where you can always use that natural sway of your wrist to get those nice round parts around the edges here. And honestly, this just leave it be and love it the way it is. I just felt like I needed just a few little extra swirly twirls around my sunshine. So please feel free to do that if you want to. If you're not feeling it, that's okay too. If you're like, oh, I really like my background the way it is, I don't want to mess it up or touch it, I fully understand. If that's your sentiments, do not listen to me. And just follow your instincts. It's really important that you do that. If you feel nervous about moving forward with it, maybe it's a good idea just to kind of let it be. And I'm just going to add a few extra little streakies in here for a little bit more of a swirly twirly background. I'm going to let this whole area dry here. Now, if you have an extra crazy amount of paint on your canvas, I highly suggest just taking a dry brush. Just rinse your brush, give it a little tap on your napkin, and starting at the back end, move your brush back and forth towards the center so that your paint gets moved around a little bit so that it has the chance to dry. Or go ahead, grab a hair dryer and dry it up like that. That's another wonderful way to dry your canvas. So after that's all said and done, I'm going to give my brush another rinse, and I'm going to start to add in some more colors onto my palette. So rinse, 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 dry. All right, so for our grassy background, I'm going to be using a few different colors. So I have this leaf green that I like to put in the background, and then I add a little, some dark green. And right at the end down here, I'm going to add that blue, the same blue that we have in our sky, just to darken it up a little bit more at the bottom of our canvas. And then after that, I like to add a few little yellow streaks to really make those grassies pop. Now, if anybody wants to count how many times I say grassies in the next 40 minutes or so, please know how many times I say grassies, 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 grassies. So I'm going to wait to put my sunshine on for a little bit. We're going to get going on the grass here. And like I said, I have my leaf green. I have my pine green. I got a little... We don't need a whole lot of each. And I'm just going to add a little extra blue to my plate. Use it all up in my sky. Now, for the actual grass, you have a couple options. I'm going to continue to use my 3/4 inch Fatty McPherson flathead nylon brush here. The reason I like to use this brush is because it's really, really nice and has a nice sharp edge on it. That's a perfect um, indicator that you can go on your canvas and pull up and make that. So because it has a sharp edge, I can pull up and make pretty decent lines with that. If you need to, you can go down a notch. And oh, is the audio really that bad? Sorry. I'm gonna really need to, I'm on it. I'm fixing it ASAP. So not during the party right now, but I'm gonna be on it for the next party for sure. Same with my littler brush. I can smoosh the bristles together, so that will make nice grassy pieces. Shoot, shoot, shoot. And then I also have a long skinny brush that's really easy to use. But the big brush is my fave. So starting with my big brush, I'm going to dip my brush in my cup and add just a little bit of water in with my leaf green paint. And because I want my bristles to stay together, I just pull back and forth, make sure that it stays nice and flat. And I'm gonna go all the way up to the top here with my grass. So I'm gonna fill in this whole area. You can kind of map it out to start if you want to. Just grab your green and decide, you know, what's gonna be the shape of your grassy knoll. Personally, I love when there's lots of like little peaks and valleys. So I'll kind of shape my grass to go up and down and up and down. And the perspective that we're going for is like that we are actually laying in the grass. So this whole area here is going to be nice and filled up with green grass. And if your background's not completely dry yet, that's okay. Just keep working on it. It's okay if some of the colors start to mix in together a little bit. So up, up, up. I'm just making the shape of my grassy knoll with my leaf green paint right now. If you don't have leaf green, take whatever green you have and just make it a little bit lighter. So if you add some yellow in with it, that'll help make it a lighter or just a different hue. You could add some turquoise in with it as well. You can add blue in with it to make it darker if you have a nice light green. And you can also add some white in with it as well, or a little mixture of all of it. We just want to have a few different variations of color for our grass. So whatever you got to do just to make that different variation of color is going to be awesome. For our next set of grassies too. So I'm going to make a few lines of the leaf green grass. And I'm going to bring it down pretty low down here. Even though a lot of it's going to be covered up with some darker green, I still want there to be a nice full set of grassies here. And all I'm doing is grabbing my paint, making sure that my bristles are nice and flat, and I just pull up and off the canvas. All right, just keep working on it. I just pulling up and off the canvas all the way up. Now, when it's, that's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my brush. And as it's rinsing, I'm hoping it's gonna dry a little bit. And I'm gonna start to add in my dark green on top of it. Now the whole point of this is to layer it up. So I'm gonna leave this top layer of the light grass, and when I start my green grass, I'm going to start a little bit lower so that you can still see that top. Thank you for saying that, Diane. So Diane says, interesting, you start at the top and work down. I struggle with grass. I will try that. Yeah, well, for the reason why I do that is because if I started at the bottom and always worked up, the layers wouldn't show up as nicely because I want to see this grass at the top. So, and I bottom. So up at the top and making sure that that color is at the top is really what I'm going for. To grab and I left a little bit in starting at the grass. I gotta get this out of the way here. And just keep working my brush up. Now, if you feel like it's not showing up very well, you might just want to wait one extra second to let your paint dry. Or if you don't mind, you can totally just on if you want to take and let the works and just take a nice flop it right on top there. Sorts of awesome textures inside my grass too. I'm going to fill the rest up with my dark green at the moment. A little bits of sky poking through. It is really, really nice to have that little bit more of a dimensional effect. But generally, I want it to be pretty full down here at the bottom. We're going to add some more blue on top of it. So I really want this to be a nice full grassy knoll. So I'm going to make sure that all of this area down here is super duper duper full. All right, so once I have that all full, I'm just gonna mix it up some more. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of this blue that I put in my sky, and I'm gonna finish off the bottom of my grassy knoll with some nice bluegrass. Kentucky bluegrass is what I'm going for right now. It is going to be beautiful. And you can bring it up into your lawn up here too. And honestly, I'm just letting my wrist do all the work. It's just flinging up. I go side to side. I like to put some little leans into my grass. Some are kind of flopping over. Some are a little shorter. Some are a little longer. I like to keep it wild so that it gets filled up with all our wildflowers after. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have a whole other recording going on with this behind the scenes of the Facebook. So I'm really hoping that it transmutes a little bit better for the audio quality. That makes me so sad. I am absolutely gonna fix this. It's gonna be number one on my list. We cannot have audio issues. Then how are you supposed to hear me? Right? Boo. All right, so I got all sorts of grassies in here. Oh man, it is nice and full. So full of grass. And then last but not least, I'm going to give my brush a really, really, really good rinse. And I'm going to add in some yellow to finish this off. So, now I'm not going to overload my grass with yellow, but it's really nice to add those little extra highlights in there. So again, I'm just going to grab some yellow with my brush. I'm going to flatten it out here and just add a few nice little swoopies. Hey, Walisha, how's it going? I'm glad you are back. Issues, and I apologize. So just a few little swoops of yellow in there just to vibe up those grass. Make sure that sun is going to be shining down so nicely on our grass. It just really, see how much it makes it pop at the top there? And rinse. Rinsey, rinsey, roo. Now this time I'm going to give my brush a really good rinse because I'm going to want to put my sunshine on after, and I don't want any green leftovers in my brush. So I'm really getting all those greens and blues out of there. I'm going to give my brush a really good squeeze on my napkin. So I'm just really squeeze out the excess paint. I don't want it anywhere near my sunshine. So really getting it out there. And I'm going to use this exact same brush to put my sunshine on. So just get those grassies on there for a minute. We're going to let those dry, and then we're going to put our sun in the center here. And then we're going to come back and we're going to glue a whole bunch of colors onto our canvas. Now, while we are making a circle straight with your brush can be a little bit challenging, but it is possible. And I'm going to teach you how to do it without a stencil. But you know what? If you have these little bottles of acrylic paint, this is a perfect round circle at the bottom to trace on your sunshine first. I just suggest don't use like a lead pencil. Use like a colored pencil of sorts. Use a yellow colored pencil or a white colored pencil or pencil crayon, depending on how you call it. Because when you add lead and then you put a nice light color on top of it, it picks up some of the darkness, and you can get some weird hues inside of your sunshine if you use a lead pencil to trace on your sunshine. Now, that's a great way to get a nice round sun, but it is possible to do it on your own as well. And the way I like to make my sunshine is I will put my brush, I have a nice clean brush here, there's no paint right now, but I'll take my brush and put it right on my canvas and twist it in a circle. Now, it's not foolproof, and you do have to finesse it a little bit, but what I aim to do is I aim for this bottom corner of my brush to be the middle of the circle. So if this is my sun, I put the bottom of my brush where the middle of the sunshine is going to be, and I try and use that as a center point to twist my brush around, and I try and keep it as central as possible. It doesn't stay right in the center, but it's just a really good indicator point for my brain to know that that's where my center point is going to be, and that's the point that I'm going to whoosh my brush around in a circle. Now, the best way to do this, you might find that your yellow is going to go on and it's not going to show up super duper bright at first. So don't worry about that too much. Just start with a little bit of paint on your brush, make a layer, see how it goes, but you might want to let it dry and just put a little bit of extra yellow on it after to make it really, really pop. So like I said, I'm going to grab my clean brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of my yellow paint here, Not so much. Sometimes when you add too much paint to your brush and make a circle, it goops around all the edges. So I put like a medium amount of paint on my brush. You know, it's on there, not like a ton, but enough to get around in a circle. And like I said, I'm going to use this bottom point of my brush to take it and turn my brush around in a circle. So my sun is going to go right about here. I'm going to take a nice deep breath, put my brush on there, and I'm going to twist it around in the best circle I possibly can and trying it. And you know, it's not that bad. It's not a perfect circle, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to a nice circle. So from this point, I'll just use the very side of my brush here and just gently swoop along and try and even out those edges. You can see I'm going very slowly. I'm just taking my time. There's absolutely no rush to get these circles on here. And as soon as I'm like, you know, right now I'm like, whew. Close enough. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead because the reality is, the more we think we can fix up the outside of the circles, is just gives it more opportunity to get wonkier and your sun gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Not that it's bad to have a big sun, but I just want you to see my circle is not perfect, but it's pretty good, you know? I'm going to just keep it like that. Now you can also see that you can still see a little bit of blue kind of poking out the background there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it dry. We have other work to do on this canvas. So this paint dries really, really fast. So I'm just going to leave it be. You can give it, just give it a little blow if you want to, but I'm going to leave it be for now and let that dry. And I'm going to add a few more colors to my palette here. Wherever I can find space, I'm going to put a couple little gloopies like in the center so that I can start to gloop on some of these flowers. So for my flowers, I have a little bit of red. I got a little bit of, and I'm going to use whatever leftover colors I have on my palette. I actually even have a little bit of black in there. If you see, there's some little bits of black in there too. So, you know, at any time you can pick what you want to add into your beautiful flower painting. Honestly, any colors are going to work and look so beautiful. Oh, where am I going to put this black? I'm going to put it right over here. You don't need a whole lot. And we can use all the colors, like I said. So in my grassy knoll here, I'm going to use red, pink, white, yellow, blue, turquoise, and black. And if I can, I might even add in some of those greens in there too. However I'm feeling, I'm just going for it. Now there's a couple different ways we can do this. My canvas is up on an easel right now, so it's a little bit more challenging to get the really nice goops. If you're on a table, it's going to be way easier to put your brush down and just kind of make nice drippy points. And it's also going to dry really good like that too. So if you're down, I highly suggest doing this face down on a table if you can. Just take it off your easel if that's what you're using, put it down on the table and make your gloops that way. It makes it they're going to show up way nicer that way. Now, because red is such a vibe, I'm totally going to start with red. And like I said, you have a couple different options. So I have my long skinny brush that takes nice goops and makes nice globbies on my paint or my canvas here. A nice flathead brush like this, you can just use the corner if you want to take scoops and just add in little drops of paint that way is perfect as well. And you can also use the detailed spots in there. Like I said, I'm just going to start with some red. Oop, look at that gloopy. Ooh, so gloopy. And, oh, I just dropped it on there. And that's why it's kind of nice to do this from above so that you don't get those drippy points. But I really am. I'm just going to take this brush and I really want to just lay it on. So I'm kind of just swiping my brush so that it just lays on those little dots, and they are so elevated and textured. And I just let my heart kind of follow its path, and there's no specific spots where any of these colors need to be. You get to just pick and choose wherever you want to add in some nice fun little gloops. Now, you might find that you want to make some bigger flowers, and that's what these are supposed to be. They're basically expressive flowers. And I'm gonna come all the way up into all these areas. And you know, I'm just adding one color at a time, but all my colors are together here on my palette. So like I can just take a scoop of pink anytime and add it in there. The pink and the red can mix together if you want. You can also take scoops of white and make trifectas of color in here. I just really want you to have a lot of fun glooping and dripping all sorts of different colors on your canvas. Honestly, just have a blast. Go for it. Apologies, my off. I'm still here, guys. Don't worry, I'm coming back. I'm right here. Perfect. And I'm just continuing to add lots and lots of goobers onto my canvas. Now, once my flowers start to seem a little bit on the muckier side, I'll give my brush a rinse and maybe grab a new color just to vibe it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add some yellow in there. And honestly, this is the funnest part. I just love glopping it on so much. Glop it up, glop it up. Whoa, it's only right now. Glop it up. Just keep adding. Whoa, that was a big one. I'm gonna glop that up a little bit more. Bloop, bloop. If you need to make bloop bloop sounds, please do. Make all the bloopy bloops you want. You know, another fun way to do this, like I said, if you had your canvas down like this, I'm sorry I don't have I should have an above head thing here. You can take your handle of your paintbrush and also add nice drops like this and just continue kind of poking around. You can use your turquoise, your blue, your red, your white. This gets some nice little dots around the edges here. So I'm just gonna use the wooden handle of my paintbrush and add some glops on that way too. And like I said, you can add black in there. You can add purple if you wanted to. There are so many different options to add these wildflowers on. But honestly, the more colors, the better. The fuller, the better. Now, one thing that I do like to do right at the end is I like to add these little tiny dots of like pollen-y white dots here. So you see there's lots of bigger gloops for my colors, but I have all these like little yellow and white dots. They're just nice and small, sprinkled throughout. Those add a lot to just like the texture of the background too. And this brush that I have. So I have my skinny brush here. I'll give it a little dip and use that to kind of pop around. Oh, my colors are all dripping. That's why it's nice to have it up on the ground level of your dots. And they can be signal. You can have them super low down to the ground. They could all be on top of your canvas. It is truly. I need some more pink. You know what? I'm gonna grab some purple. I'm gonna do it. I'm going rogue. I'm gonna throw some purple flowers in here. And I just take big scoops and I kind of just wipe it on. Just wipe little dots all over the place. Let it run, let it drip, let it do its thing. Oh, I like that purple in there for sure. It's just fun to just decide at the last second to add in the extra colors. It's like, why not? Just go for it. But I have to say, the most important part of this, no, I'm not going to say it's the most important part, but just getting as many colors in this grass as possible. And also, those little tiny dots in between all of these nice big globs of paint really, really bring it together. Whether it's magical pollen that you're putting on there, or little bugs, maybe they can represent all the little creatures that live in the grass after. And I just take the bottom in, and they can float in the center of the grass. I just love having fun with this. And you know what? Oh my goodness. I'm still here, guys. My camera just wants to be... I don't know what's going on with the moon today, but maybe it's like something happening technically. Technology isn't working for me today. I don't know what's happening, but we're just gonna let it be. I'm still here. It's all good. Yay! Oh my goodness, it looks so full and beautiful. I love it. I love it. Now, you know, once I have all my goobers on there, it's all good. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab that nice and grab a little extra yellow. Make sure that it's nice and bright. And you know, there's other ways to make this nice and bright too. You know, I'm going to go a little rogue again. So other ways to make this painting truly your own. Take some yellow and you can make some yellow swoops around the sky too. Why not? Nobody's stopping you from adding some yellow streakies into your sky. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not gonna stop you now. If you want to add some streakies to your canvas, nothing's gonna stop you. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And yeah, you gotta add some extra glow in there. You know what? You could put some clouds in your sky. You could put some birds in your sky. Oh my goodness, there's so many opportunities to take this and run with it. You could put proper flowers inside your beautiful grassy knoll here instead of some crazy drippies. It is 100% up to you. But you know what I say? The the most important part is that you let everybody know. I forgot to put the black in. You let everybody know that you are painting. All right? So, marker, grab a Sharpie, whatever you got to do. Paint, and just put your little initials down in the bottom corner. I'm gonna turn this upside down first. That looks kind of cool too. Having the opposite way there. Let me know how did everybody do with their painting today. I know that was really fast. I hope that was a fun little afternoon paint sesh for you guys. I just love, painting doesn't have to take a long time. It works really good. It's like really good medicine, right? It works, it's strong and it works fast. So continue to come back to this painting forever. You can continue to add and layer as your paint dries. You can layer some more dots on top. You can put more flowers. You can just add until your little heart's full of desire. And I can't wait to see them. So guys, just make sure when you're done your paintings, please, please, please go to the Julie's Paint Party public Facebook group and post them in there, because I just love, love, love seeing your amazing work. And I love when they're so much better than mine. It just makes me so happy when I see people's paintings that far exceed my own. And I hope this was a nice little afternoon project for you today. And, I just feel like this is one of those ones that you could probably practice a few times. So with our blends in the background, with those goopies and our grassies, these are practicing points. These are things that take a little bit of time to really nail, but after a few goes, it really makes a big difference. So I hope you can take some of these techniques on this simple painting and truly make it your own. And I really hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I sincerely apologize about my microphone setup here. I'm going to actively work on that so that it doesn't happen anymore with you. And I'm going to lose my and I don't know what to do about my camera situation. It just keeps shutting off. I don't know what to do about it. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But with that said, friends, I'm sending all my love to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And please, please, please post your paintings in the public group. I can't wait to see them. So, have a lovely afternoon, and I will see you soon. Bye!